Hey, y'all, it's your favorite Unc. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below to Nightcap YouTube channel so you never miss a single live stream or video of myself, Ocho, and Gil. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you. In the OTAs, the NFL Players Association is working to finalize a proposal to overhaul the offseason starting as soon as 2025, eliminating voluntary on-field workout in the spring and in favor of longer training camp ramp-up with players reporting in mid-June, early July. Basically, the idea would be rolling extended OTA-style ramp-up, strength and conditioning, non-padded work, etc. Straight into training camp without 6 weeks of break and de-escalation between. A major change. Do you like this, Ocho?
Absolutely not. Don't change it up. Don't change it up. Because you got to understand what you're doing is also you're taking money out of people's pocket. Sometimes the players in their contracts, they have incentives to come to these voluntary workouts, you know, and why would you want to extend training camp? Why would you want to do that?
Because
I thought we were about protecting the players.
We've long decided that it was about the money. So we've been decided what it was about.
Yeah.
But you can see where this thing is headed. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have this long rollout, one preseason game, and we're going to hit the game running. We're going to hit the field. We're going to hit the ground, the field running.
Yeah.
So that's what you're building up to. Yeah. And maybe you still put that in your contract, Ocho.
Okay.
Maybe you still put that in your contract.
Take the money from the all-season program and add it to the end season.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I never put that. I never had that in my contract,
right?
Because I wasn't going to come. So unless you give me $500,000, I wasn't willing to for $50,000. I wasn't willing to stay in Denver. I want to do my own workout because I know I was going to push myself harder than what I was going to work out there. Right. And I was the only one that wasn't required to be an OTA in off-season conditioning. I was the only one in Mike Shanahan's career.
I don't like it though. I don't like it though. I don't like taking away the preseason games for those that sign as free agents. For those that are coming out of college, they get an opportunity to make the team. I don't like it for those that are 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th round draft picks because they need that film. They need that film of those 3 or 4 preseason games that they do play in to get a chance, not only to make that squad, but to put themselves on tape as a resume for other teams that might need a body at that position. I don't like it. I don't like it because it takes away from them and their opportunity to get a chance to play in the NFL.
Man, you know how I feel. I mean, I made it because we had 5 games. That's the only. If we'd have had 3, I wouldn't have made it. We'd have had 4. The conventional, I wouldn't have made it. It was the very last game in which I made it. So you already know how I feel. I was talking to the commissioner. He's like, what do you think about the new rules? I'm like, Commissioner, I'll be honest with you. I ain't crazy about it. I understand why you guys are implementing because the kickoff, the concussion rate goes up exponentially. You're talking about probably extra 20, 30, 40% because the collisions are so great. You get 20 miles an hour running this way, 20 miles an hour running that way. Yeah. And when they collide, something bad gonna happen.
Every time.
Eventually. Especially if you do that X amount of time. If you score on a field goal, you score on a punt return or something like that. There are a lot of kick, even punts. But I get it. I say for me, probably wouldn't have made it. Probably would have had to wait another year, probably spend some time on the practice squad for somebody to give me an opportunity. Hopefully I showed enough for the Broncos, but I just made it because of special teams. Yeah. Made it because of kickoff. I was a wide receiver, and I would go down there and light somebody's ass up, and I didn't care. I threw caution to the way. I'm making this team.
But think about that. You had 5 games to do it, and you were able to make it because of special teams. Now, imagine them eliminating the offseason program and then having training camp, and then how do these individuals make the team now? With nothing to put on film. 1 preseason game, that's not enough. That's not nearly enough opportunities for an individual to say, like, oh my goodness, look who this is standing out on film. Where you can make yourself where you become more than just a number. You need those games, man. You need the time to put your resume together. And those 2-3 games during the preseason, it does wonders for players.
And Ocho, I was still in school. So what a lot of guys were out of school, and so they were in the off-season program. Man, I'm trying to get my degree. Man, I wasn't dropping out of school. Hell no. Nah. I'm too close now. So I didn't end up getting there till June. And so the OTAs were ending like the second week of June. So
Yeah.
I really only got 2 weeks of OTAs before I had to leave and go do my own thing and then come back. But back then, and they still do it now sometimes, Ocho.
Yeah.
We came in, the rookies and the first year players had to come in like 3 days before the vets got there. And so we padded it up, we hitting even before the actual training camp in which the vets arrived. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how they do it now, but I do see sometimes rookies report on this day and the vets report on a later day. But we putting pads on. We doing 9-on-7. We doing everything that we're going to do in training. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Pads.
9-on-7. 1-on-1.
The most we put on was shells. Remember the little shells? The little shells we had? That was
Man,
it.
ain't nobody had them things back then. See, back then.
Had shells?
No, hell no. You have spider pads. You know the spider pads that you put on up under your shoulder pads?
The shock.
Yeah. They had those, but we didn't have shells like you. Ocho, we had pads on Wednesday, Thursday, and we had pads on Friday with shorts. There wasn't no shells. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, no. Come on, now. Hey,
I'm telling you.
They ran y'all in the ground, man.
Yes. Oh, when I tell people don't understand. Bro, 9-on-7 was really putting people down. 7-on-7. 7-on-7 was a third up. You ain't just catching no balls and say, oh, let him catch it.
Right.
And they pushed this. Oh, man, please. It was a different time back then. Now, probably like the 49ers were the only team that the West Coast system, and you see how they do, a lot of teams do it now. They were the only one doing that. And then as that tree started splintering, you got Mike Holmgren leaving. You got Steve Murray. You got other guys leaving. They brought and implemented that system.
Okay.
Yeah, because Mike Holmgren took a lot of those guys with him to Green Bay. He took Andy Reid. He took John Gruden. He took Steve Mariucci. And so as those guys started getting head coaching jobs, they started implementing that West Coast system where you're only hitting about 10 times a week, and that's normally on Thursday. Everything else is in shells.
Right.
Because you're practicing speed, not so much hitting. But back 90 to 92? You kidding me? Boy, they got butter from a duck back then. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
Oh, y'all better than me. Because I had a few times, I had a few times, and obviously I can say it now. Some of the times when we would have to have on pads on a Wednesday practice, I'd be out there in my shells because nobody was going to hit me anyway. But listen, I wore a size small shoulder pads anyway. I wore very small shoulder pads just so I could be light, but I put my shells on. Boy, in New England, boy, Belichick, you had to have thigh pads, knee pads. You know how in the locker room where the equipment room is, and they have the diagram on how you supposed to dress.
You got on every pad.
Robot, it got on everything. That's how you got to go to practice in New England. Everybody, really? Everybody, or he'll send you in. Everybody, thigh pads, knee pads, shoulder pad, everything. He didn't play.
Mike, the way we practice, Mike said, the way you play the game, that's how I want you to come to practice. Well, me, Ed, a lot of us, the DBs, ain't have no thigh pads, no knee pads, no hip pads.
Yeah.
So Mike said, that's the way you go in the game. Now, Dan Reeves like, okay, you ain't got to wear no thigh pads, but if you get a thigh bruise, it's going to cost you about $5,000.
Ooh.
You
put him in quick.
Thigh pads.
But see, your teammates got to be on your side, though. Your teammates got to be on your side and protecting you and saying, listen, we got pads on, but if we're going to do anything, let's stud it up. Yeah. Make sure you're in position to make the tackle as if it was a game simulated. Don't hit me for real. Don't hit me for real.
I mean, but them thigh bruise, anything, they freak, Ocho. Sometimes you just, you go and y'all run together and his knee or a cleat hit you.
Ooh. Hold on. Have you got a thigh bruise and it hardened up and stiffened up? And then they got to use that. Remember is it called a Graston? How you call it?
Yeah, I know that scraper. I know what you're talking about.
And they got to scrape it to get it loose?
Yeah. Yeah. I know what it's like.
But that pain?
That shit hurt. Man, it was different.
Yeah.
I'm glad they changed because bad. But just think, Ocho, that's how like in the 60s and the 70s, everybody was practicing like that. All the practices was Wednesday, Thursday, putting you on the ground. Friday, you had on shoulder pads and helmets. There was no shells. We had on shoulder pads for the entire practice.
Well, somebody should have said something back then.
Said what?
Whoever the leader of the Broncos was back then. Matter of fact, his name is John Elway. Elway should have said something. Man, listen, we don't need to be out here in full pads. We want to be fresh on Sunday.
Quarterbacks normally wore their pads because they needed to get used to throwing their pads. For the most part, John always wore his pads.
Yeah.
Even at least for like a part of practice, and then he would take the pads off. Oh, they tell me take shoulder pads off. You had to tell me. You had to tell me, but what?
Yeah.
Woo! I'm gone.
Man.
But those were the days, Ocho. It was a different mentality play back then. That's what I'm saying. That's why you see these guys running across the middle and one-handed things and taking selfies.
All pretty, taking pictures.
Yeah, you didn't do that back then.
No, sir.
Bad Mike Singletary. Oh, those guys, go across the middle. You ain't go across there but once. Bet you wouldn't come back.
And you're going to think about it twice if you do got to go.
What?
Boy.
Next thing you know, you be looking through that, you looking through your ear hole.
Yo.
Somebody done killed him.